What's happening, everybody, and welcome to Nuts and Bolts MMA. I am your host, Travis Montgomery. It is the 7th of May, 2021, and you are listening to Nuts and Bolts MMA, where you get the nuts and bolts of what's going on inside the world of MMA. I'm your host, Travis Montgomery, like I said, and we are here now broadcasting live on HAPS. I told you these live streams would be coming. I told you bigger things were going to be in store for this show, and here we are. I purchased a new computer where I can do a lot of cool tricks, bells and whistles, and all that. I'm so excited to be broadcasting live now, which means we can't go back and edit this part. So you'll hear it live, and there'll be people jumping in. We're going to be having scrolling graphics. We're going to have different guests. I am about to jump out of my skin with how excited I am. I got this new MacBook Pro, and I'm working on music. I'm doing a lot of stuff. I got Final Cut Pro in here. Super duper excited. But let me introduce... Real Quick Picks is back again for another preview. He has a YouTube channel. He does a great job of giving you the quickest picks on YouTube. Mitch, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Travis. I can feel the energy from your side. It sounds like a lot of excitement and new things to come. Honestly, from my side, it sounds like, or it feels like another random day. You hit me up to talk about MMA, and I'm always happy to do that. I always like talking about these cards coming up, and we've got one tomorrow that's seems like there's not the most buzz around it, but I know you and I are at least excited about it.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get those bets in and all that. I'm just I'm making music again. I had a Mac 2 years ago, and the thing crapped out on me. I had that thing for 15 years, and I wasn't in a position. I was addicted to drugs and alcohol. There was no way I was going to get a new computer in the shape that I was in. But here, lo and behold, it's actually, I bought this from saving up cryptocurrency and from hitting some good sports bets. So what I do is I'll deposit with money, and then I do a payout in crypto, and I leave it there. I don't touch it. So I leave some in and continue to play. And I just got on a streak. I bet Jury. I didn't really talk about this last episode, and I also didn't post it. But I bet Jury to win in rounds 2 and 3, and that was a big hit.
That's pretty good.
I ended up.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I like those round props. If you throw a little bit on them, I thought Dominic Reyes was going to be able to survive one round. We don't need to rehash that fight. Any notable bets that you've won lately? Because I know you like to do that too.
So first, I want to note that you mentioned round 2 and 3. I like that idea. I never really thought about that. Sometimes I'll pick a round, but I don't love it too much. But I like how you covered multiple rounds there. But for me, I went with Vegas, actually, I think, if I remember correctly, for last week's main card. So I went 4 out of 5 because there was the draw, but that one got voided. So I don't remember the exact parlay odds, but I pretty much hit that 4 parlay. If you just went with, sometimes if you just go with Vegas, that's all you need to do, really. So that's what I did with last week's.
What do you mean by
going with the favorites? Sorry, all the favorites won, except for that draw, which at least for DraftKings, I don't know for other sites, it got voided. So is that how it works always, that it gets voided on a draw, or will that bust a parlay?
It should count like as if that wasn't even in your parlay.
Oh, yep, exactly, and then adjust the odds, and yeah. So that's the last big one I've hit. Every now and then I'm just making random parlays. I've always got a lot of active ones, and for this one, actually, with all the fights we're going to talk about, I thought it'd be fun if I just did a little $20 parlay, and every fight we're going to talk about, I did put the winner down, so it's a 7-fight parlay with plus 3,400 odds. Bet $20 to win 700. So that'll be fun while I'm watching.
Well, you'll let us know what your picks are when we get there. Don't want to jump the gun on that one. All right, some quick results. Let's get into some news. We have a news drop, but it's not hooked up yet. Real quick, Bellator 258 just happened. Sergio Pettis is your new bantamweight champion. 50-45 on one judge's scorecard. I didn't understand that. 49-46 the other two. Anthony Johnson, after getting dropped in the first round, did not look good. Looked like he wanted out of there. Jose Augusto keeps his hand really low and eats an overhand right. You can't do that when Anthony Johnson's standing in front of you. Peter Quilley defeats Patricky Pitbull via second round TKO doctor stoppage. He got taken down. He was busting Patricky up. He lands kind of one of those elbows from his back after being taken down. He landed 3 good ones. One of them just sliced him up. They could not stop the bleeding between rounds. Michael Page defeats Derek Anderson, was just playing with his food, kind of. Rufin Stotts defeats Josh Hill. I hope he fights Sergio Pettis next. PFL, some quick results in that. There's been some odd stuff happening in the PFL. We had Kamaru Usman's brother go down, who looks super undersized for heavyweight. He went down as a minus 500 favorite. Fabricio Verdum went down. Anthony Pettis a couple weeks ago. It's not looking. There's some weird stuff. There's some funky stuff going on in PFL. I would try and stay away from that. And I'm thinking about staying away from these Bellator cards too. I had to bet on Juan Archuleta. It's these smaller shows give you bad beats, and it's not really fun stuff. The UFC imports have not been doing good. Gleason Tubau lost. Chris Camozzi, that kind of could have been expected. Anyways, our other first bit of news is that Bellator 261 adds Tim Johnson and Valentin Moldavsky for the interim title headliner. Jury versus Outlaws, the co-main. So what they're doing is Ryan Bader is the heavyweight champion in Bellator, but now since he's in the tournament, he will be fighting overtime. What's his name? Nemkov versus Anthony Johnson is on the other side. And I can't think of the dude's name off my top. There's too many names, so many fighters, so many organizations. No, I'm not going to even try right now. I'm just having a brain fart. So we have that. Did you have anything to say about the Ryan Benoit fight? Because that one's,
I'm disappointed that fight is not going on. I was putting him in a lot of parlays. His opponent, I felt like didn't. If you look into his opponent, he's 3-3. The folks he's won against, their combined records was like 4-8 in organizations no one's heard of. So I was excited to load up on Benoit because it was almost even odds there. Other than that, not too much to say about it. 3 pounds overweight and was struggling at that. So I was sure once I saw that the fight wasn't happening, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was almost like they're like helping dude on the scale, and it's just not a good look. What are we doing? That they're basically like getting him on the scale with a crane so he could weigh in for 2 seconds. It's not a good look. I don't know. Maybe he needs to go up in a weight class. Shout out to Jason Torelio, my homeboy for a long time. He gave me a high five on here. This is our first half broadcast, so we are figuring this stuff out in real time. I had no idea what was going to happen when I pushed the go live button. I guess what could be expected is what could be expected.
If you don't mind me asking, Travis, I've seen a few different takes on that. How do you feel about the weight cutting? Is it a bad thing, or I see some folks think that like the organization is making fighters cut too much weight, and on another hand, I see folks thinking or saying that no one's making the fighters cut weight. It's their decision to strive for whatever weight class they need to. Is there too much pressure to be larger in a weight class, or how do you feel about all that?
Well, if you're going to allow weight cutting, why not allow the IV drip so they can hydrate properly? Is my thing. But I think I kind of like I mean, if there's always going to be people that cheat, even if you're trying a hydration test like ONE FC does.
Yeah, like the most extreme weight cutting will still occur. That's possible, but yeah, it's weird.
It's kind of. I come from a wrestling background, so it doesn't really bother me that much. I've had to cut weight before.
Okay.
It sucks, but it's doable. I don't know. It's definitely a problem. It's like judging in the sport. There's so many different angles that you can look at it. So I don't know. If it's up to me, I'd like to see people fight more in their natural weight class. But if you want to take the chance and drop down and suck yourself, I mean, a lot of people have had success moving up in weight now,
Yep.
so you can
That's
do
true.
that
A lot
too.
of great examples.
Couple of quick fight announcements. D Wolf is out. Felicia Spencer will now fight Norma Dumont. The UFC event on May 22nd. This will be the Battle of the Brazilian Butts. Both of these ladies are really nice in a bikini, so that's going to be fun.
I agree.
I hope there's some grappling involved.
I think there will be. I think
would
there
make
will
me
be.
happy.
Don't worry about that with the new Venom gear and all.
Involved.
It'll be there.
I'm here for the Venom gear. You know, that's what we were meant, right? Another quick fight announcement. Caitlin Vieira will fight Sarah McMahon in a year. Just kidding. It's August 28th, so
yeah,
we'll see if Sarah McMahon can capitalize on her success. Maybe Caitlin Vieira. Maybe this is a version of the young eating the old.
I feel like those stories are usually a little more successful with the female fighters too. Although you have what's her name, the nice warrior, the happy warrior. She was kind of busting a few prospects, or at least Macy Barber, and I think one more after that. But at any rate, yeah, that scenario. It's like it's hard to pronounce. It's like Modafferi.
Yeah, Roxanne Modafferi
for me to.
And I still can't think of overtime. Corey overtime. Damn, that's going to bother me. Anyways, we can move on. I think we brushed through the news real fast. As far as Twitter beef goes, I know I didn't tell you about this ahead of time, but the Logan Paul must have a death wish.
I knew that was what was coming.
I have to do
no,
it.
it's okay. It's okay.
I had to do it. Logan Paul rips off Floyd Mayweather's hat, and his hair is just nappy as all hell. Looks like he got hit by buckshots or something on his head. It was not a good look. Floyd was really mad, and it looks. I couldn't see. So did you see any of the? I just saw a quick video. Did you see any longer videos?
Yeah,
because it looks like there was some.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm a fight fan, so when I see stuff like that, I start to dig into it. I saw quite a few videos. It seemed like Floyd Mayweather was actually pretty upset, I thought, and Jake Paul is your true problem child hooligan. He just didn't care. He was getting swarmed by
Logan Paul.
No, Jake Paul was the one that took the hat. Logan Paul is the one that's going to box Floyd Mayweather. Wow. But anyway, yeah, Jake Paul took his hat and then was running around getting surrounded by, Floyd and his henchmen. I think he ate a few punches from Floyd, and then he was still kind of screaming, like, I got your hat. He was committed to the bit of being the problem child. I think he's definitely looking to try to book a fight with Floyd Mayweather probably down the line somewhere. And I see you shaking your head, but I mean, what are we going to do? This boxing is going in this direction. And I mean, yeah.
Yeah. What you don't want to do is piss off Floyd Mayweather.
You don't want to do that. And he did a very good job at that. Yeah. Now he's not just going to sleep him. He's going to punish him severely for that. Yeah.
Or his brother, both of them, whatever you say about it.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if you can bet on that, but I feel like I would feel pretty good putting whatever amount of money on the money team there and Floyd Mayweather. But Moving forward, I do see Jake's trying to market a fight with someone, and then I think probably Floyd Mayweather down the line. I mean, the story's already writing itself here. He's already eaten punches from Floyd Mayweather. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Jake and Kamaru Usman would have said that they would box each other, but Dana's never gonna let that happen. Well, I don't know. I said that about Conor McGregor, and that should happen. So.
Yeah, but you can't allow. I would not. I don't want it to happen. I don't want to see Jake Paul and Kamaru Usman box.
Is my camera
a little pixelated? A little bit. Yeah. That larger form is a little pixely.
Jason says if both Paul brothers fought Floyd at the same time, would Mayweather still win easily? Serious question.
I don't know about that. What are we saying? What are we saying? Fight? What are we
easily.
saying? In a boxing ring, I feel like he'd have a chance. In like a bar, I don't know. I think it helps that Floyd Mayweather's surrounded by 22.
No, it'd have to be a sanctioned boxing match.
1v2.
2-on-1. I don't think easily, but I definitely think Floyd wins. And I hope it would be like in a really big ring.
Run around, have them get tired and punch each other on accident.
Yeah. Have some running room. Okay, we'll do a couple quick picks, and then we'll do a couple breakdowns. Phil Hawes versus Kyle. I want to say Dukakis, but it's not. I know it.
I usually say Dawkins. I usually say Dawkins. I hear Chris Dawkins, Kyle Dawkins.
Dude.
But yeah, no, I agree because I'll go through the picks on full cards, and half the time the names are like, it's a global sport organization.
Actually, why don't you go ahead on this one because you had something good to say.
Yeah. No, I feel like I like Kyle Dawkins here. I like him to be able to avoid what Phil Hawes, what his strengths are, which I feel like is knocking people out. We saw against Jacob Malkoun, he just starched him, but then also kind of pressuring against the fence and grinding out. I don't think he's going to be able to knock out Dawkins or pressure him for those 2 out of the 3 rounds he would need to clinch the decision. I like Dawkins to kind of bring it into deeper waters and maybe get a submission. I think he's got a few Darce chokes on his resume, so that would be exciting. But I like Kyle Dawkins in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and agree with you. Yeah, Kyle Dawkins 10-1 versus Phil Hawes 10-2. Phil Hawes is the underdog slightly at plus 110. I'm going to lean with Kyle Dawkins as a pick here, but
it's one of those ones where if you're wrong, I mean, Phil Hawes it's going to be you're really wrong. He's going to probably. I don't think Phil Hawes is going to win a decision. Basically, if he wins, I think he knocks him out. But
it's a coin flip.
But I like Kyle Dawkins to not get knocked out.
Correct. Next, we have Amanda Ribas minus 190 versus Angela Hill plus 160. I think this one's pretty simple. If there's some grappling involved, Amanda Ribas will probably end up winning or get the decision. Or, a clinch type of fight, that's where she's going to win this one. Angela Hill has been, she rubs fans the wrong way because she doesn't take a loss like a boss.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. She's like, you just got to win a split decision and you'll beat her, it seems like, right? It's one of those things, which I feel like Amanda Ribas has a great chance at. She's someone that I feel like the UFC would want to push in that division. Also, I see her fighting style could bring that out. I don't want to see her try to get Angela Hill out of there like she did against Paige Van Zandt necessarily. I'd rather like to see her go for a decision win. Personally, I feel like Angela Hill could capitalize on if you maybe try to rush her. Like she's still a veteran in there. You know what I mean? I don't think you're just going to rush her down and get her out of there the way she did to Paige Van Zandt.
Yeah, and it's time to see where Amanda Ribas is at right now.
I'm glad the odds kind of got a little closer on this one. They started pretty pretty far apart.
So money's been coming in on
Angela.
who? On
Yeah.
Angela? Yeah. I'll probably go with Amanda
Mm-hmm.
at this point. The public money coming in at first is usually people that like to give their money, sports bettors. So to sports books, you kind of want to fade the public a little bit. It's kind of a rule. One of the rules I have is another one is the young eat the old in this sport. Another one is bet on someone that comes from a good camp,
I like those rules.
and also fade the public because they're here to give their money to the sports books.
Yeah, at any rate, I like Amanda Ribas in this one. Aside from those things, though, too.
You just got a little louder.
A little louder. I got. Okay.
Yeah, back up a little bit.
Yeah. No problem.
I'm going to take a look at what you were talking about here, real quick. Anyways, we'll move on. Who's your pick?
Amanda Ribas.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick. I have 3 bets, and they're all on the last. I'm not sure about this one. Actually, I think I have 4 bets. I have a bet on this next one, especially getting Diego Ferreira at plus 145 right now versus Gregor Gillespie. Diego Ferreira is my pick. Are you on board with me or not?
I'm not on board with you with this one.
Do I have to end the live broadcast here?
Why do you like Diego here, other than the weight cut cheating?
I like it because
I'm just kidding.
Because Gregor Gillespie, I don't think he's going to be able to swim in the waters of grappling with Diego Ferreira. There's only 2 other people that can out grapple him. That is Charles Dobronx and Benil Dariush. Look at me pulling names out of my head again. And he's not fighting either one of those 2. Gregor Gillespie is probably going to get some takedowns, but what he is going to lack is I don't think he's going to be able to control him. Diego's going to be able to get back up if he wants to. I mean, he gets 7 takedowns in a fight or something like that. Gregor Gillespie does, but I don't see it. And he hasn't fought since 2019. He hasn't had a win since January in 2019. No. We'll see how he comes back after that broken jaw. I'm not buying it. I'd like to take the dog money on Diego Ferreira. Also coming out of Fortis MMA, I like betting those people. And I think he could even get a sub. The dude has some nasty jiu-jitsu. What do you think?
Well, I feel a little less confident about Gregor Gillespie after hearing what you have to say about Diego. But for me, it's a little. I guess I expect a little. Maybe I'm sleeping on him on the ground there. After the last fight, kind of like, what have you done for me lately? Benil and I know Benil's very high level, but he went for 15 takedowns and I think got like 5 or 6. And I just feel like Gregor Gillespie, even if, he comes in with a game plan and executes even like a watered down version, I feel like he should be able to do that. I feel like the game plan is at least his bread and butter for him. And then whether Diego is able to get back up or dominate on the ground, I feel like kind of becomes the question for me then. I'm also curious about this missing the weight cut. Was it a bad weight cut? How are the later rounds going to look, due to that?
Who Diego
by
missed
3
weight?
pounds, I believe.
Huh. What the hell
Is that strategic though? Is that to, be a little bigger for wrestling, or is that because you couldn't cut the weight? Is kind of one of my questions. I feel like since it's such a big weight cut miss, it almost seems like maybe he didn't stress himself out at the end. I don't know. I don't know exactly how all that works, but I know he missed weight. I kind of want to look up the amount. I don't want to be wrong on that 3 pounds.
Okay. Yeah. Either way, I could hear the clicking on your mouse.
Sorry.
That's cool. We can move on. Yeah, that's going to be one of my bets. Now that we're talking bets, since the last card where I picked up 6 units, I'm up 3 year to date for bets given out on the podcast, not including Twitter. Just to make that clear. So Diego Ferreira, he's my dude. Tomorrow, he's gonna get that W. Maurice Green now plus 160 versus Marcos Rogerio de Lima. This I don't, I respect anybody that gets in the cage. This is kind of a dumpster fire of a match, to be honest with you. I like Maurice Green here, though, as an underdog. I might throw him on something. It's not going to be an official play. What do you think?
I'm not loving putting money on this fight unless it's just kind of for fun and just to see what happens. But I do like Maurice Green in it. I really don't love picking or looking at these heavyweight fights, these not lower level, but, outside of top 10, 15 level heavyweight fights. I feel like sometimes they're just not very great fights. They're just hard to predict. But one thing I did notice on their record is Maurice Green seems to get some random submissions here or there. And on the other side, he seems to lose to some random submissions.
Well, me and him are friends on Facebook. Shout out to Facebook. I have a lot of fighters on there. I think because a couple people said yes, and then when they see common friends that we have now, it'll be like 20, and a lot of them are fighters that are retired.
Mm-hmm.
They will befriend me on Facebook, and that's cool. And I've noticed that he is slimmed down a lot. He's talked about his weight loss journey. At 6'7", he's got a lot of volume. He's got a lot of output, and Marcos is kind of like a one-round fighter.
Yeah.
So,
and he gets submitted. And I could definitely, if I were to bet on it, I think that might be how I would. Maurice Green by submission.
Yes. Well, he also submit. You're probably referring to Gian Vellante. Was his last win, and Vellante just looked like he ate everything before he agreed to step into the cage.
Yeah, so you also see 3 triangle chokes on his. Like he definitely, and he's long. Yeah. But at any rate,
the view from Sherdog tells us that he's 9-6. So that's not awesome, but he's kind of a younger-ish career heavyweight. They'll keep these dudes around a while. So let's see if he can get a couple wins under his belt. I don't think he'll be fighting Francis Ngannou anytime soon, but I'm going to be picking Green.
Yep, I'm going with you here with Green.
Now we have Neil Magny versus Jeff Neal, and in my opinion, the loser needs to kneel at the end of the fight and just, bend the knee. That's my opinion. I'll give this one to you first.
Okay, yeah.
Who are you picking?
I like Jeff Neal here to keep it standing up. I don't think he's going to get taken down, or if he does, he's going to get back up, and he's just going to outbox Neil Magny. Is the way I see this one going. Yes,
me too. I agree with you. We can still be friends.
Yeah.
Jeff Neal, look, he fought Wonderboy Thompson, who's a nightmare of a matchup for anybody other than Kamaru Usman in that division. Mm-hmm. And, maybe Jorge Masvidal, Colby Covington.
Apparently Anthony Pettis.
Neil Magny, he's going to have to be on his bicycle pumping jabs or fight a clinch fight against the cage, which I just don't see that happening. I see Jeff Neal coming back, bounce back fight for him. I think he's one of the better talents in the division. Neil Magny, he gets taken down a lot, and Jeff Neal has that good body lock takedown. Again, Fortis MMA, Saif Sayoud gets these guys ready. I have no problem betting Fortis MMA. I love that camp. And Jeff Neal has the power and speed. I think he's going to Magny. Chin is a little sus. I think Jeff Neal is going to get a finish here. Real quick, tell me a little bit more about Jeff Neal.
I like that you brought up that Stephen Thompson fight. I think he's going to come back with maybe even an upgraded version of stand-up, which will be even more of a problem for Neil Magny. But yeah, he gets taken down a lot. It was weird. He took down Robbie Lawler a bunch, and then right after that, Michael Chiesa was able to ragdoll him around. But I don't think this one really goes to the ground unless that's where Jeff Neal decides to take it. For some reason, I'm really feeling like Jeff Neal is kind of going to have an easy day at work here. Not easy, but, I think it's going to be Jeff Neal's night.
So also a lot of people like to point out Neil Magny's output, but Jeff Neal, if you look at the UFC stats, has just as much output as he does. His last fight was against Wonder Boy after almost dying. He got sick. His heart was all messed up. He had sepsis. He was in the hospital, and that was his fight after a long layoff, coming back from that madness. I don't. It's pretty scary stuff. So if he can't win this fight, this could be, a career stopper. It's really scary when we see fighters have injuries like that. Chris Weidman, shout out to him. Just nasty stuff. We don't like to say it. Even though I bet Hall, it's not the way I had it. It was sick to my stomach about that one.
Mm-hmm.
So Jeff Neal is my dude on this fight. I'm going to be taking him inside the distance.
Yeah, and I think that's a good bet. If you look at his whole resume in the UFC, he's gone to the unanimous decision one time. Every other one was a finish within 2 rounds.
Well, if you want to look at his stats, we can do that. We can do that right now. All right, so I will pull up Jeff Neal. Oh, great. We love the ads. His loss to Stephen Boy Thompson. He went 5 rounds.
Yeah,
wonderful. After that long layoff, after being sick. So I really like this bounce back fight for him. That Nico Price fight was a good showing. Bilal Muhammad. Remember the name? Yes. Lots of good wins there. Stephen Thompson. Real quick, I know that they're going to do Colby versus Usman, but I really would almost prefer that they give it to Wonder Boy. I think that's a crazy interesting fight. I don't know why more people aren't saying that.
I mean, I don't know where you've heard Colby from Usman from. It sounds like Usman and his team are calling out Chiesa, which I see a lot of fans are not too happy with. And I see why I'd rather see that Colby fight. The Thompson fight, I think Thompson's definitely going to get past Gilbert Burns, and I think that would be a good one to make, especially with Thompson getting so old. He's like 40 or 41, right?
Yeah.
So I'd like to see.
Yeah. So that fight, real quick, we'll bird walk a little bit since we're way ahead on time. This is good. I think Gilbert Burns is the type of dude that if he's on, he could beat anyone in the world in his division. But Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, it's really hard to look good against him. So yeah, probably Gilbert Burns has a brain fart, but I think that dude can. I don't want to say like he was lightning in a bottle, but he beat Tyrone Woodley, and then he didn't look. I take that back. He knocked Kamaru Usman down, and then he just has these brain farts. I don't know. I think we're going to end up seeing Wonder Boy versus Usman eventually. And there is your welterweight discussion. And keeping in the nature of the welterweight division, we have Donald Cerrone versus Alex Morono. Cerrone is minus 190. Morono is plus 160. This is after the fallout of the whole Diego Sanchez, Joshua Fabia. Let's call him Labia. Never mind. That was terrible.
Have you seen the ones with him punching Diego while he's hanging from the air?
Flapping in the wind.
Man, they're just terrible.
Off the sunset. And now that we talked about this for 2 episodes already. Go back and listen to episode 12 and even 11, I think. We broke it all down. And so now let's get to the nuts and bolts of this matchup. Do you like what I did there? Don't answer that. Donald Cerrone versus Alex Morono. Who's your pick and why?
I like Donald Cerrone here. I just feel like he's kind of a higher level of fighter, really, just to put it straight. We see Alex Morono last losing to Anthony Pettis, who honestly had not been looking great, I feel like, up until that point. I don't see why Donald Cerrone wouldn't be able to handle what Alex Morono comes with for tomorrow night.
Yeah, he's better everywhere. I know that on the last episode, I said that if I can get Morono at a big dog price, I'd probably bet him. But no, I had forgotten about the Nico Price fight, and that was a draw with Donald Cerrone. So, all things being equal, I know MMA math doesn't work, but if you were to put Nico Price in there in front of Alex Morono, I'm going Nico Price all day long. I don't see where Morono has an advantage here. It's not on the feet. Donald Cerrone's Muay Thai is incredible. Also, he's a legit black belt on the ground, and he moved his camp from Syndicate MMA to the BMF Ranch. Remember last episode, I also asked that where did he have his camp? Well, I got the answer. It's at Syndicate MMA. Those guys probably have Donald Cerrone ready. Donald Cerrone's going to come out of here. It's supposed to be a retirement fight, but we all know how this dude operates. He'll probably be back for another one, but given that it's a retirement fight, and normally there's kind of a rule of thumb. If someone is retiring, they have one foot out the door, and that's not a good mind state to have going into a fight. But we are not talking about a normal person. We're talking about Donald Cerrone here, who has more fights than anyone in the UFC, I think, other than Jim Miller. So I'm going to actually take Cerrone inside the distance. Plus 265. Yeah.
I don't know. I like Donald Cerrone to kind of snowball into maybe even one of those vintage finishes we've seen before. But it is what I've seen, at least him say, is that he wants to go back down to 155 after this. But maybe that's just, talk before the retirement fight. I hope this isn't the last time we see him compete.
All right, here's how we're gonna do this. I'm gonna parlay Donald with Marina Rodriguez. So there's 3 bets. Right? I've got Neil inside the distance, Diego Freire, and then the 2 favorites in the headliners. I know it seems like a square bet, but I've been hitting these parlays lately, so why stop now? Which brings us to our main event, which also I think should be pointed out. We were supposed to get Leon Edwards versus Nate Diaz on this one. Isn't that right? And then they pushed that back. So
no, it was it was also at least TJ Dillashaw and Corey.
Oh, you're right. No, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot. I should have.
Next week was supposed to be Diaz, Leon Edwards that they pushed back. But yeah, that Corey Sandhagen one, I don't even talk about that. I'm so disappointed in that one. But yeah, Marina Rodriguez versus Michelle Waterson. Here's what we get instead. still going to be an exciting fight, and honestly, a little easier to predict, I feel like.
Well, we all know what Michelle Waterson brings. She's got that head and arm throw. She's got her crazy kicks, but I just think Marina Rodriguez is going to be able to light her up on the feet, especially for 5 rounds. I don't know. What is your big take on this one?
I just feel like her last fight was just such a huge statement. It's hard not to. It's hard to argue against her. It's hard to want to get in her way. She looks like she's on a warpath to becoming a contender if she's not already one. I mean, she beat Amanda Ribas, which I feel like other folks would consider a prospect. So, we're gonna find out where she is. She's gonna fight a veteran in Michelle Waterson. I see her kind of being the hungrier dog in there, and it's showing.
Yeah, the Carla Esparza loss was kind of a weird one to me. I didn't think Carla won that fight. But yeah, I think the UFC knows what they're doing with this matchup. They're probably trying to push Michelle out a little bit. I think we've seen what we're going to get out of her. We've squeezed all the water out of that sponge. And Marina Rodriguez, now 13-1, some new blood coming up. 13-1-2. She also had the draw with Cynthia Calvillo, which I think if Marina Rodriguez fought both those girls, she'd probably finish both of them. In the same boxing ring at the same, 2-on-1.
Man, I can't wait to see Michelle Waterson with the Venom gear.
Oh, yeah. That's the other thing Michelle has going for her is that she's really good looking. So I'm going to take Marina Rodriguez. Probably by decision. Michelle Waterson is tough enough to hang in there. But we'll see. This division is super exciting. And I think that is it. Guys, sorry for the kind of a rushed show and maybe not as analytical as normally we do things around here, but I got this new computer that I've been working on since yesterday, and I'm super stoked about it. But other than that, time to give some shout outs. I'm going to give a shout out to myself for saving that crypto and winning those bets and getting myself a new computer. Self-praise, self-love. There's nothing wrong with that. You got to love yourself before you can love anyone else. And I have to praise myself for my confidence and mental health reasons, especially how I've turned my whole life around. Mitch, who are you going to give your shout out to this week?
Yeah, I'm going to give a shout out to Alex Morano and also Donald Cerrone. Honestly, this card was slowly getting, taken apart with first the Sanhagen news and Dillashaw, and then the Cowboy and Diego Sanchez fight, and then Alex Morano. He gets the call. I am interested into why he's always getting the call. They gave him a chance against Anthony Pettis to take a name, and now Donald Cerrone. But he's given a lot of fights to the organization, so I do get it. But really just big shout out to both of them for stepping up on short notice and providing a fight for the fans still for this weekend.
Yes. My betting selections to wrap it all up will be Jeff Neal inside the distance, plus 175, Diego Ferreira, plus 140, and Cerrone Rodriguez parlay at plus 125. I have stepped my game up, so now it's time for everyone else to step their game up. We are out of here.